Hundreds of inmates, barefoot and stripped down to white shorts, scurry into El Salvador's new mega prison, ordered to crouch down on the ground one after another. These alleged gang members are the first prisoners of the complex named the Center for the Confinement of Terrorism.
Y gracias a Dios, la estamos ganando.
With a highly produced speech to police, President Nayib Bukele is celebrating the massive prison's opening, a cornerstone of his war on gangs. Also tweeting, "They're not scary anymore, are they?" The new complex, capable of holding 40,000 inmates, considered to be the largest of its kind in the Americas. The president touring the facility, fully equipped with armed guards and prison staff, workshops for inmates to manufacture goods, as well as dark isolation cells meant for solitary confinement and harsh punishment for, quote, anyone who tries to make any trouble. With no mattresses to sleep on or even any visitors allowed.
The new president down in El Salvador is looking to fight, I guess, aggression with even more aggression as they build this huge mega prison. You saw some of the details there of what they're doing, but they're housing many of these gang members and lining them up like cattle, like this. And you can imagine some of the crimes that these folks may have done, but as you see some of the punishments going down, as we continue here in this next video, you may wonder, is this effective? Let's watch more.
Bukele declaring a state of emergency last March as violence plagued the country with more than 60 homicides reported in just one day. Top Story has been following the story since then, reporting on the mass arrests that followed as police hunted down alleged criminals.
They say they've arrested over 6,000 suspected gang members.
The emergency declaration meant to be temporary but extended several times, suspended some constitutional rights like arrest warrants and access to legal representation. Human Rights Watch documenting the arrests of thousands, which include children.
That led to then the detention of 64,000 people, including 1,600 children.
What do you make of his use of social media to forward the publicity of this campaign?
President Bukele is making enormous efforts to control the narrative of what is happening in the country, and he does that through social media.
So President Bukele there is implementing all these different measures and getting very, very strong with the martial law approach here, suspending some civil rights as well, arrest warrants and legal representation, of course, not really on his mind much anymore. But they did mention suspected gang members. So and they also figure everyone there must have been guilty. I don't know the circumstances, but that's one of those things that, again, from our perspective, we like to say we're doing the right way. But here's some of those things that they're suspending though, because in March of 22, he put El Salvador under martial law for the second time in some of those civil liberties that he broke down. The 30-day state of exception enacted on March 27th of last year suspends freedom of association and the right to an attorney, extends the period of detention without cause from 72 hours to 15 days, and authorizes police intervention into personal communications. Punitive reforms approved on March 30th raised sentences for gang membership to up to 30 years for adults and 10 years for children as young as 12. Bukele's lawmakers authorized judges also to rule over proceedings anonymously so they can not have to worry about any of the potential consequences there though. This is what's going down in El Salvador, and I really hope as we see this, we've seen some of these parallels that happen with people in prisons here, Jeff. But when those things are actually uncovered, there's at least some level of criticism and hopefully investigation and reform to those things. But it comes back again, because again, these folks in our prison systems aren't really human.
You know, when I first read about this story, I thought three immediate things. I wrote them down. How much does this facility cost? Number two, inmates will be creating goods while incarcerated. Yeah, there's the profit motive right there. And number three, what societal ills have led to this country having so many gang members? Like, I'm wondering if the cost for that facility, if it were spread amongst the people into, I don't know, programs and social matters, would it prevent these gang members who are now gonna be in prison making goods for the country? So that's where my brain went, probably because I'm from this country here, these United States of America. So if I'm out of bounds on that, please let me know. I'm sure the comments will let me know, but that's where my brain went automatically from seeing this.
Well, my brain also went to the thought of There's tons of people here, and I'm not against actual punishment for folks who've done these types of heinous crimes. There was even some people in that piece, the residents were like, yo, I feel safer on the streets. I feel you on all that stuff. We have to find a decent way of doing this without sweeping up anyone else that maybe could turn to a slippery slope situation, or us just skipping by these types of liberties because we're so eager to get to that end result. Let's go to SOT 5 here, you guys, just to illustrate that potential problem and how this could then get worse when it comes to regular folks or anyone else that just happens to be targeted. Watch.
El Salvador's National Civil Police reporting a sharp decline in homicides this February compared to years past. While the violence has gone down, some believe the cost may be too high.
We don't know if those who are being detained have committed a crime or are just there because they were tattooed and were in the wrong place at the wrong time.
They just don't know. And many times we don't, and we can assume. Again, like I said, I get trying to make the streets safer. I wish there was a way you could do it better. That's all, but people are feeling it right now. We'll see where it goes next.